Okay, hello folks. This is the design table problem for the very last homework that we have on August 4th. It's for the morning session and it's a design table for a part. Here's the actual spreadsheet that I have created and saved it already somewhere. And this is my nominal part, and you have to read these things, make sure that you respect them. There's a line of symmetry here, and the center of this arc is on the continuation of these lines, and the same thing with the other guy. Now, I have two options. One is actually make half of this and then mirror it on the other side, or I can actually draw something like that and then clean it up by using symmetry. I will go the first route. In other words, do half of this and then mirror it on the other side. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm in part, so on that plane I will sketch something that resembles half of that arc, half of that part. So let me do the following. Maybe do an arc here. Like that, and then a line from there. Make sure it also passes through that. We're going to do that in a minute. Okay. How do I make sure that this passes through that? This line control that point. We're going to make it coincident. Okay, now it passes. You can see that. Let me make this thing a little bit shorter. Yeah. And then the circle on the side. Once again, I use an arc like so. Here, see that right now, the center of the circle is actually on that line. Yeah, pretty much something like this. Okay, and then the line. Maybe I should make this thing a little bit longer. Yeah, like so. Okay, now what do we have here? We have a line going from this point to that point, to there. Oops. Let me make it a polyline. I don't want any constraints. So in order to avoid having constraints, I hold the shift button and then take it to anywhere I want. Now, let's make sure that these are actually correct in a sense that, for example, this has to be vertical, right click vertical. This has to be horizontal, right click horizontal. Okay, and this point must be on that line. So this point control that line. We want them to be coincident. Okay, very good. So I think this is what we want. So let's mirror these things. One, control this and that and that and this guy. We're going to mirror it. There's the mirror with respect to that. And now we're going to start dimensioning. Okay. So what do we have here? This is going to be later on my R2. This is going to be R2 later on. This is going to be R1. Okay. Let me see now. That distance is going to be A. This distance is going to be B. And that distance is going to be alpha. Not alpha, L. Okay, how about the angle alpha? The angle alpha is between this line and that line. This is going to be alpha. And the angle, oh, I'm sorry, this is going to be beta. This is going to be beta. The angle alpha is on this side. This is going to be angle alpha. Okay, I think we are good. Uh, yeah, just to check, let me take one of these and move them around. The whole thing must resize symmetrically as it's supposed to. Very good. That's good. Okay, exit, and then we pad it, and this is going to be my nominal part. Why don't I apply a dummy material on it? Because remember, material is one of our columns in the design in the spreadsheet. Okay, very good. Now notice that this is already created, but I wanted the name of that thing not to be material, but to be math. So we can do that quite easily by clicking on f of x, selecting this, and instead of material, I can change that thing to math. There are other ways of doing it, by the way. Apply. Good. Now we're going to create our parameters. So there are several of type length. So new parameters, one of them is R1. And based on the nominal entry in my table, R1 is 1. Okay, so I'm going to do this first row, okay, of these numbers. Okay, so this is going to be 1, another one, R2, and R2 seems to be 1.5 in that table, 1.5. Another one is going to be A. What is that? Next column is going to be A, which is 1. A, which is 1 inch. Another one, which is B, is going to be 3 inches. B is going to be 3 inches. Another one is going to be L, the padded length, which for now I'll make it 1. Okay. And then we're going to have two angles. We change this thing to angle. One of them is going to be alpha. And the table seems to say that alpha is 70. Another one beta. And the table gives me 110. Okay, good. Apply. Now we also need a serial number. I'm going to change this thing to string because one of the columns in the table is serial number. So we're going to click on it, new parameter. I'll call this thing serial number, SER number, exactly as it appears in the spreadsheet. So I'll call it dummy, and then apply. The next step is to create our equations. Okay, so if you click on this, now you can start making your equation. So for example, that guy, add a formula equal to L. Oh, you know what? I just realized something, that L is that dimension. So that dimension is, I don't know what I use. Cancel that for a second. Let me see now. Let me close this. This L, the table says is 3, and it's not the padded length. It's just this size. It just happens to be L is this, okay, and not the pad size. Usually I use L to be the pad size, but that's not the case here. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's do it again. F of x. Click on that. So let's start with this. This is going to be add a formula equal to L. Let me see now. That is your B. Add a formula equal to B. This height, add a formula equal to A. This is I believe R1. Add a formula equal to R1. But other guy, who's that? This guy is R2. Add a formula equal to R2. Yep. This angle is your beta. add the formula equal to beta. Where's beta? Right there. This angle, add the formula equal to alpha. Okay. Now the part number, scroll down, find the part number. Must be somewhere here. Okay. So if you don't see it, just click on part here. Somewhere down here. Part number. Where is that? Part number, add the formula equal to serial number. And then say, for now, we say okay. Now I'm going to check these. We haven't done the design table yet, but I'm going to check these, make sure everything is okay. So let me see now. For example, right now, serial number, I'm going to change it to 1, 2, 3, 4. The part name should be 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. B was this radius on the side, so I'm going to make that thing 3. Did it change? I'm not sure. Kind of hard to say. Let's make it 5. Oh, we got a problem here because 5 is too big apparently. Let's go back here. Let's put it back to, I think it was 3, was it not? Good, good. Let me change this thing to maybe 3.5 and measure it, of course. It's kind of hard to see, but if I use the caliper to measure it, that better be 3.5. And it is 3.5. Now, obviously, if you put a bad number here, this sketch may get screwed up. So let me change it to 2. See whether that works. That better be 2. Yeah, that's 2. Good. So that works. Let's try our A. A is this height. Let me make it 2. Yeah, this is 2. This better be 2. I'm pretty sure we're good. But let's try one more. How about the angle? This angle. So let's try this angle. That was angle beta, if I'm not mistaken. Beta. Let's make it 90. Let's hope that it actually doesn't screw up the sketch. And you can see that these two are perpendicular to each other. So that these parameters work. Now that we know it's working, it's a good idea to go and change or create a design table. You click on this, create a design table. I have something called homework 10. So I already created that. I think it's right here. It must be this design table right there. It says, should I automatically associate things that I see in the design table with the model? The answer is yes. And notice that here, if I say apply, this whole thing maybe yes, maybe no. Let's check. Let me find out what's going on here. Let me try the other one. Oh, okay. So let's see now. Did the name change? C002. Yes, material copper. There's copper. These dimensions change as I expected them. But this last one probably okay too. We're going to change right there. Notice that the part name is C003. Material is, what is the material? Iron. It says iron here. And these dimensions are okay. Now, the reason that first one is not working, probably I have a number here that doesn't work out. So the question is which one, and I'm not sure. So let's open it up. My guess, let's go to the second one. Okay, so let's see now. Here it says angle alpha is 70 degrees. This angle is 70 degrees, and this is 110. Let me try this thing, change that to 100, and I don't know, maybe 30. So edit table. Let's try this thing 130. Obviously, I'm not going to do that to you on the test, but I mean, you should know how to fix it. Oh, there we are. Okay, good, good. I mean, if you put it on unreasonable number here so that it becomes a self-intersecting sketch, then obviously it doesn't work. So, okay, so that takes care of the uh, it takes care of the